Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Daniel Smith, and in this video I'm going to discuss a third potential hidden technique implied in the Megami open hand, closed hand patch. Alright, so she has her closed fist about right here, and she has her open hand down by her side. And this is also found in a little bit of adaptation from Seisan Kata, whereas in Seisan Kata, you block and then you grapple the hand once you block it. Although for some reason the block is with a closed fist, and there's reasons for that. You can be framing someone's neck with that block or whatever. But anyway, you have a closed fist block, and then you turn it over and grapple and punch. And then you also have a sequence where you do a similar thing with a knee and a kick, where you grapple with an open hand and throw a closed fist or a knee strike or a kick into the person in your katas. So this is not that big of a new thing, but you can literally pull this into a throat jab. You can pull them down into a punch to the solar plexus if you don't think you need a life or death technique. Which you should not use the life or death technique unless you absolutely need it, by the way. So that's like your last choice, not your first. I'm just saying it's there if you need it. You can pull them in and punch down into the bladder, the top of their bladder, if you need to, with a closed fist technique. You can pull them into your hammer fist. You can pull them into an elbow strike, which, a clenched elbow strike roughly doubles the force of the elbow strike. And I'm probably pushing 2,000 pounds force on a clenched elbow strike even to this day. And a pro boxer, like a heavyweight pro boxer, can probably cross train. And as I said before, be taught to get about 3,000 pound force out of a clenched elbow because of the sheer number of push ups and weightlifting and other upper body strength training that pro boxers normally do, the heavyweights at least. But so it's a clenched. It can be any kind of clenched punch to the face, punch to the solar plexus, punch to the groin. Like I said, clench and pull into an elbow strike. Any kind of closed fist technique in combination with that clench. And believe it or not, this is in Seisan Kata also. And this concept will allow you to defeat a second Dan black belt relatively easy, even if they already know it, because the first person to get wrist control of the other person 9 times out of 10 is going to win a fight at the brown belt to second Dan fighting level. I know because I used to do it to second Dans all the time. All right. So, literally 9 times out of 10, whoever gets wrist control on the other one is going to win the fight at that skill level. And it's just that way. And so that's another hidden technique in the Megami, which is also in Seisan Kata. I almost combined Seisan with Megami. All right. And then, strangely, the Kamai Kamai is also in Wansu Kata, but it's also in Kuzanku Kata. So technically, that other move that I showed in that other video is in more than one kata, and it's actually taught in more than one place in Wansu Kata, because one of the punches in Wansu Kata, Michael Calandra just adapted into that technique. So it's actually taught in more than one kata and more than one place in the same kata, in other words. That one under the jaw and into the eye socket. All right. See what else? Other combined striking techniques, so called. So another one is if you're in full mount on top of a person, you can front choke with one hand, which is an open hand technique, and rain down punches on their face with the other hand, which is again a closed hand technique. And that's pretty brutal. The person has to cover up or else try to arm bar your one arm. But if you got both arms close together, it's going to be pretty hard for them to get any kind of arm bar on your arm from there. So you're pretty safe. As long as you keep both hands together, they can't get you in an arm bar. So, don't let them separate your hands. But you're better off raining down punches, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying there's ways of combining open hand and closed hand techniques. And what else? I guess that's good enough for this video, for the purpose of this video, just to let the bells be ringing and the wheels rolling in the martial artist's mind of how to combine open hand and closed hand techniques in creative ways, such as Seisan, Kata, and others. It's implied in the Megami packs that you're using both techniques in tandem because she has one hand closed and the other hand open. I used to do this to the other brown and purple and black belts anyway. Whenever I sparred them, I would just totally change up styles and fight nothing but open handed against them and blow their mind. I fight switch stance, so when I get bored with fighting orthodox, I just switch to southpaw, or I switch to southpaw because it gives me some kind of timing advantage on one particular fighter for some reason that they're not good at fighting against a southpaw. So I'll switch to southpaw and see if I get an advantage out of it. And sometimes you do. Sometimes it confuses them just because you change stances. Sometimes I've actually had one individual stop me and ask me what side I was fighting with, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. You got to beat me either way, because it confused the tar out of her. Just the fact that I was changing stances up on her. So sometimes you have to change your fighting style and your stance just because it will confuse your opponent more than it hopefully confuses you. So that's another concept you need to think about in street self defense and sport fighting and in the dojo sparring. All right, thank you very much for watching, and God bless anybody that watches this.